All right, here's my non-AI prediction for 2026. By July 1st, 2026, we are going to see an increase of about 50% of the existing VPs in operations or facilities management. By the end of the year, we're going to see twice the amount of VPs and EVPs or senior leaders in operations and facilities management than we have on July 1st or January 1st. Here's why. In 2024, coming into 2025, we were really kind of like figuring out what was going on here, right? And there wasn't enough data or associations or understanding about how close operations and maintenance was to the intention around renewal and retention income. And that we kind of like suffered through 2025 on all those things and learned a lot. And as we're coming into 2026, a lot of owners and a lot of bankers are going to want to de-risk their investments because there's a lot more risk out there than there ever was before. So they're going to be changing their fee managers. There's going to be a lot of change this year with respect to the fee management side of things. So you're going to see changes in fee management. We're also seeing a lot of people talk about, at OpTech, it was like the subject of conversation about brand. Well, brand isn't just like a logo and some funny letters and a font, a papyrus. It's not that. Brand is how you operate. Brand is your promise. So if you are buying brand, right? If you're buying a promise, you're going to want to talk to the people that deliver that promise. And that's going to be the maintenance and operations people. Okay. You're going to want to vet that. You're going to want to learn that. You want to know, what do you do? What have you done? Not what are you going to do? What will you do? So it's going to want to see some proof to what you are doing and how you're running operations. And since it's usually EVPs and VPs buying, they're going to want to buy from other VPs and EVPs. So you can't trot around with like be an executive that's trying to sell a deal and then all of a sudden trot in a director of maintenance or regional or whatever, or a senior manager. Like, it's got to be somebody who has the same level. So consequently, since we're going to see a lot of deal flips happen in Q1, Q2, and we're going to see a lot of people who are like pulled into these sales relationships that are operations and facilities people, we're going to find that when you're buying brand, you're buying operations. You're buying the promise of service delivery. And that promise of service delivery is a function of how you run your property. And that's going to come from the SOPs, the discipline, and the kind of the practice of delivering on operations. So to do that and to buy that, given that the bankers want to buy de-risked revenue, the owners want to buy de-risked revenue, everyone's going to want to talk to the person that is setting the standard for this retention and revenue creation, and not to mention protecting their assets. So because of all that, because of the brand conversation, because of the desire to de-risk revenue, and because of the huge management gap at the VP and EVP level for operations, this is the year for operations. There may never be a better year to be in an operations role seeking or earning that promotion, because what's going to happen is that we're going to need to fill that gap. And there's been a number of years before that gap gets refilled again, just because of the tenure of the people that are there. So what's going to be really interesting as we get into Q2, Q3, is that in those sales conversations, people are going to ask you, what have you been doing? What have you done? Show me the results, show me the case study. And what's going to be really interesting is that people are going to talk about what we're going to do, what we're thinking about doing, and that's not going to float it. So if you want to win deals in 2026, look at your operations team and scale them up to be sales and financial professionals, really, to be able to talk the talk, to be able to sell what their operational systems can do for the owners and for the bankers, so that they can confidently de-risk their investments in 2026, number one. And number two, start planning out to build your case studies in Q1 and Q2 around your efficient operations. And that could mean AI, but ultimately how you are seeking to improve operations and reduce the cost of operations for your subsequent buyers. So to round it all out, sales is going to drive a level up of operations and operations people in property management in 2026. We're going to see doubling, or no, increase of 50% of the existing people that are there right now in the EVP and VP level. And by the end of the year, there will be 100% more EVPs and VPs in the maintenance and facilities level, because that is what people want to buy. If you want to follow me for more of this stuff like that, Guillermo Salazar on LinkedIn.